They seek to create a personal environment that is both beautiful as well as practical. People think art and artists cannot be beautiful and practical at the same time. That's utter nonsense. It doesn't work that way. People don't know about this model much, I guess. They're introverts and intuitive as well. Highly internal focused. The energy direction and the focus is everything is internal to external. Good morning, good evening, wonderful people. Namaste, salam alaikum. Welcome to my channel, Insights, where we take a look at topics like leadership, management, critical thinking, training for employees, engineering design, project management, and all these kinds of topics for all professionals. Yeah. What are we trying to do? We are trying to evolve. We are trying to make things better. We are trying to make it leadership as not one person, one man, or one woman show, but we are trying to bring out the leadership qualities in each and every person, each and every individual. And I shall prove this to you in all my videos, in all my channels. Employee training is available. You can go through the entire playlist. That pretty much sums up whatever you're going to do in your work, your career. Yeah, there's nothing much to that aspect. However, there's a lot to be learned from leadership. So, my channel is all about presentation style format, right? As you have a PPT, PowerPoint presentation, whatever. So, I suggest you go through my content in a tablet like iPad or Samsung or so-and-so, or a laptop or a desktop, or a landscape view. This is the best style in which this is being presented, right? So thank you for all your likes, subscribes, leave your comments. If you want more content on something, just put it in the comment and in the description box. I can be contacted and all the details are there. Okay, my LinkedIn profile is there. Let's get into the topic of today. Let's talk about critical thinking workshop model a little bit. But before that, before we get into the nitty-gritty of the workshop dynamics, we have to understand what we are trying to accomplish. Yes. In the last one, I spoke about the critical thinking as 4 things it has to accomplish. Any critical thinking workshop, which needs to be held, by the way, in institutions, schools, colleges, universities of every kind, in companies as well. Because there is a certain solidification of human psyche which happens in a certain age group from 18 to 35 years of age. There's solidification of human psyche. You can go research it up on psychological books. Psychologists know this, by the way. We need to transform the way the human interaction takes place in every personality. Why? Every human personality is limited to a certain thing. That's why no one CEO, no one manager can ever do a proper job, holistically speaking. We are trying to accomplish a holistic model of perception of the world so that we can work better with one another. Gone are the days when we are talking about one leader, okay? One charismatic leader. Let it be a president, let it be a prime minister, let it be a CEO. Not going to work in this coming world and coming ages, okay? So we need to develop this critical thinking model. Now, before we get into the nitty-gritty of the workshop dynamics, I want to speak to you about the Myers-Briggs model itself. It's a rather simplistic model. It's becoming popular in all the apps and everything of personality. The MBTI, the Myers-Briggs type indicators. Okay, there are 16 types of personalities which we saw last time. Let's just review once more what it is. And when we think about the critical thinking workshop, last time I spoke to you about the 4 things that any critical thinking workshop should accomplish. Otherwise, it's bogus. You might as well walk away. Go and watch Netflix. It should change the function. Is the function holistic? Is the form? Change the form, change the function, change the abstract, change the foundation. Function we'll come to later on. In this one, we are going to talk about form. Last time we spoke about the abstract a little bit. Can expand on it. Let's do it later. Then it is this building a new foundation. Critical thinking should enable the individuals like this gentleman over here to work with all these: the form, the function, the foundation, and the abstract, all 4 aspects. In this one, I'm going to talk to you about form. In the last one, I spoke to you about the 16 Myers-Briggs types of personalities that are there. Yes? Well, now I shall unravel them as the 8 opposite pairs. Let's just talk about the 8 opposites that exist within this model. Like 8 pairs of people can never understand where the other one is coming from. Okay, that's what I mean by opposites. You must have come across this in your friends, relatives, family circles, etc. Why is this person never able to understand, get where I'm coming from? That's the bridge we are trying to bridge. But first we need to know where the problem is to solve 50% of it. This is why I use the Myers-Briggs model in collaboration with the 5 C's to get this critical thinking workshop model. However, I arrived at this particular one. That's what we are going to discuss. So let us dissect each one of these 8 pairs of opposites and see where they are coming from. Yeah, because that's going to make a lot of sense. So the Myers-Briggs model basically has 8 indicators, as you can see here, right? And each one is paired against its opposite kind, as you can see, right? These are the opposite kinds of indications. Extroversion, opposite is introversion. Sensing, opposite is intuition. Thinking, opposite is feeling. Judging, opposite is perceiving. Simple? Not so much. Extroversion, they tend to be outgoing, talkative, enjoy social interactions. Introversion, those who prefer their internal world. They often prefer solitary activities, need time, alone time to recharge. The sensing people have a preference for sensory present focus. What do I need? Practical, observant, and tangible information. Give me the facts. That's the sensing people. Intuition, the opposite of sensing, right? They look for patterns, possibilities, potentials, invisible hidden things, abstract ideas. They rely on their imagination and are drawn to theoretical concepts. Thinking people, obviously, what is thinking? This is a good definition, by the way, is based on logic and objective analysis. They prioritize rationality and impartiality. Rational mind, the left brain. The feeling, on the other hand, is more right brain. Individuals with a preference feeling make decisions based on values and emotions. They prioritize empathy and harmony in their choices. Opposite of thinking. We each one have all of this. Just understand that. There's no one only. Okay? We are a combination of all of this. Each one of us. Next, judging and perceiving. Judging people are what kind? Not the one who is judging like Gen Z people go on and on about why are you judging me? Not that kind of judgment. We are talking psychology here, okay? Judging people prefer structure and organization. They like to plan, make decisions quickly, and strive for closure. Quick, action-oriented people. Think of it that way. The perceiving, on the other hand, are more adaptable and flexible. Like, not really. I can do even this. I can do even that. They are very flexible in their mental makeup. They enjoy open-ended possibilities and are comfortable with ambiguity and prefer to keep their options open. Now, each one of these, what are these really giving us in terms of the psychological drive, the innate drive of the individual, and how we can use that in the critical thinking workshop? The first two, extroversion, introversion, amount to an energy direction. What kind of energy do you hold as a person? What do you bring to the table when you go to the workplace, right? The energy direction is introversion, extroversion. Sensing and intuition is focus. Which one are you focused in? Are you focused in present facts, prefer tangible information? Are you focused on patterns, possibilities, and abstract ideas? One is very real, tangible stuff. One is intangible stuff. That is the focus. This is the direction of focus, sensing and intuition. Thinking and feeling is a conclusion direction. Meaning what? These people prefer rationality and impartiality, logic and objective analysis. That's how they will conclude. They will conclude only based on rational decisions, the left brain. The feeling individuals, on the other hand, the dominant feeling, they will focus on empathy, harmony, based on values and emotions. They will conclude any conclusion that they draw, that's why it's conclusion direction, they will draw based on their feeling, not so much on their thinking. Judging and perceiving, the last pair, are about preference direction. What do I prefer? I prefer to quickly act, strive, and close and move on. Or I enjoy open-ended possibilities, comfortable with ambiguity, have more discussions, let's do one more meeting, let's do one more plan, let's do one more thing. Lots of churning of ideas. One wants to quickly move forward, one wants to have more and more discussions, enhance it more and more, have more detail-oriented. Right? This is the preference. So we have 4 pairs, really speaking, even if there are 8 types of indicators as you see here. There are basically 4 pairs. One gives the energy direction, Second one gives the focus direction. Third one gives the conclusion direction, and the last one gives the preference direction. I want you to keep this in mind as we go forward. What's next? Let's see each one of these types now. Okay, so the first one is Entp. We are back to the table. I've given the direction over here. Entp is who? You see these violet lines marked? Extroversion, he's an extrovert, he's intuitive, he's a thinking type, and he's a perceiving type. This is the first, okay? First one of the pair of opposites. We are discussing the 8 opposites as is marked there, okay? Entp is who? He's inventive, enthusiastic, strategic, enterprising, inquisitive, versatile, enjoys new ideas, challenges, and inspiration. First of all, he's an extrovert, so he's going out there and getting stuff done. He uses intuition, which is good. He uses thinking and rational thinking, which is also good. Remember, each one of these types is nothing like good or bad, really speaking. It's just different types of individuals. We bring different things to the table, yes? Last one is perceiving. So, extroversion, extrovert, intuitive, thinking type, and perceiving type. So, what does this give us in terms of a person, overall personality? This person is a rationalist, visionary. He's a visionary. He's the one who thinks of practical things, okay, practical ideas. Rationalist, left brain, more of thinking type, okay. Using the intuition he's thinking, which is good. That's right. That's what makes him a visionary. People think of visionary as something vague and fantastic. No, it's not. You can find them in the common people. I can find them in the marketplace. There are visionaries among us. We need to bring them out through the critical thinking workshop model. There are visionaries in your companies, whoever you are watching. You don't know them because you don't know this model. You're not doing the critical thinking workshop. Who is the opposite of Entp? Who is the opposite of the rationalist visionary? Let's see. The Isfj is the opposite of E, N, T, and P. You see how the cross lines are going. Meaning, the Entp has nothing in common with the Isfj. Nothing. Zero. They work in totally different modes of operation. They're using different faculties of the brain, of the mind. This is all got to do with neuroplasticity, neuro-linguistic programming, whatever you learned there, folks. Okay? The human brain tends to work in a fixed neural pathway, right? So this person is introverted. He's the quiet type. He's the sensing type. He prefers tangible details, but he's more introverted. He's more quiet, the shy type of people. The quieter types. He's more feeling type, so he's concerned about the feeling, the well-being, the empathy of how does this work with people? Is this good for people? Is this not good for people? Is this good for environment? Not good for the environment? Those kind of approach. And last, he's got a preference for structure and organization. He wants to be organized about things. Very straight jacket approach. Finally, what does Isfj yield us? It yields us the kind of personality who is the defending nurturer. These are the people who make proper activists, okay? Proper ones. I'm using quote-unquote proper because there are many fake ones out there who are just tom-tomming around. He's the defending nurturer. He's the one who wants to protect the environment, protect the people, protect the cause, right? Defending nurturer. He wants to nurture. Nurturing is the feeling individual. He wants to nurture everything that's going on in his company, in his business, to his clients. Let's take the next pair. This was the first pair. Second pair of 8 opposites begins with Esfp. Extrovert, sensing, follow the violet arrows there. Extrovert, sensing, feeling, and perceiving. Go this direction, right? So he's an extrovert. He wants more concrete details. He's a feeling individual, so there's a degree of empathy and connection and values and emotions. And he's a perceiving individual. So they enjoy being open-minded and possibilities. Perceiving is more open to possibilities, more adaptable, flexible. This is the combination of energy, focus, conclusion, and preference each one has, by the way, okay? As we go through each one of these pairs, focus on the direction of energy each one is taking in, how they work, what energy they carry, what focus, what conclusion, and what preference. This is what basically MBTI is. So extroversion, sensing, feeling, and perceiving. Finally, what does an Esfp give us? He's a playful, enthusiastic, friendly, spontaneous, tactful, and flexible person. They have strong common sense, enjoy helping people in tangible ways. So they become the creative performer. Right? We need this. Who is the opposite of this? So the opposite of Esfp, Esfp will be the other side, the mirror. This is Intj, the mirror opposite, right? So the Esfp will never be able to understand fully the Infj. Sorry. Intuition is labeled as N because there is already introversion. So yeah, whatever. So Intj, what kind of a personality is Intj? First of all, they're solitary activity, loving people. They need a long time to process stuff. So they're intuitive. They're introverts and intuitive as well. Highly internal focused. The energy direction and the focus is everything is internal to external. They're more of internal authority people. Okay. That's what makes them innovative and independent. Okay. Then they're thinking and judging as well. So that's what makes them strategic, logical, reserved, insightful, driven by their own original ideas because of the introversion and intuition being very high. Original ideas to achieve improvements. These kind of people are needed at the critical thinking workshop table. Okay, we'll see the workshop dynamics later on. Let's not worry about that for now. So what does an INTJ give us? They are the rationalist mastermind. These are the ones who come across in a civilization. There have been plenty in the past, in all countries. These are the ones who come across original ideas. They are the original thinkers. This introversion plus intuition gives them a deep depth of processing. They're always thinking about something, holding a pipe in their hand and thinking about something deeply. They're quiet people. They're not boisterous. They're not extroverts, they are introverts, and they're using only intuition. So world of abstract ideas like Nikola Tesla, for example, the inventors, right? They are the rationalist mastermind. This is the second pair. In the third pair, we have Entj. So another combination is extroversion, intuition, thinking, and judging. Entj. These are extroverts, so their outward energy direction, their focus is more on their intuition and possibilities. They are possibility thinkers, potential thinkers. These are the ones who tell, well, this is possible. I could do this, I could do that. Potential thinkers. And they tend to make decisions based on a logical objective. Okay, I have a business idea, for example. I have a way to make this company profits better. But is it doable? They ask themselves that question. Is it logical and objective enough to accomplish? Not every fancy idea is accomplishable. Yeah. And then they are judging. So they like to plan and they like to put in a structure and a plan in place to execute. Okay, that kind of a person. So they are strategic, logical, efficient, outgoing, ambitious, independent, effective organizers of people and long-range planners. These are the ones who make excellent planners. Planners, people have to have a lot of intuition also, not just this left brain thinking. The point to consider, these are the people we also need in critical thinking workshop. But here we are focusing on the 8 opposites. So who is the opposite of Entj? There it is. Isfp is the opposite of Entj. Entj, so it becomes Isfp, right? Then follow the violet arrows, right? So Isfp, what kind of a person are we talking about? Introverts. First of all, again, their internal world, their energy is focused within themselves. Their focus is towards more present and concrete details. They value emotions, they're more feeling type people. And they are perceivers, that means they are very flexible. They enjoy open-minded thinking, open-minded flexibility of ideas, thinking, possibilities and potentials. This gives us a person who is gentle, sensitive, nurturing, helpful, flexible, realistic. They seek to create a personal environment that is both beautiful as well as practical. People think art and artists cannot be beautiful and practical at the same time. That's utter nonsense. It doesn't work that way. People don't know about this model much, I guess. Should read a little bit, I think. So Isfp kind of person gives us the creative composer, the Mozarts, the Bachs. You see what I'm saying? So all the musical composers, the musical greats like the Mozart, they are the creative composer. They are introverts. They need private time to process stuff. You can't do everything. Extrovert can't accomplish anything much if he doesn't, well, he can accomplish in the external world, but he's not creative enough, right? Creativity requires a little introversion and intuition. We shall see this in other combinations as well. And they are practical and observant at the same time. How do I get this thing going? How do I make connection between sensing practical and observant, and feeling. It has to connect with my emotions. If I compose a tune, it has to connect with my emotions, right? And then perceiving, they want flexibility. You need to be able to compose different notes, different songs, songwriters, for example. These people also need to be present in the critical thinking workshop. Let us see the third pair. I think we're in the third pair or the fourth pair. Let's see. We are in the fourth pair. The fourth pair is Enfj, meaning fourth pair of opposites. Extroversion, intuition, feeling, and judging. Enfj. So these are the ones who are very talkative, outgoing, social birds. They are intuitive at the same time. They have a fair degree of intuition. They are more feeling people, right? And they are judging also. They like to make decisions quickly and move. You see the combinations, the richness of this combination and MBTI gives us is enormous. It is a simplistic model. It has its own weaknesses, yet I prefer to use this, and you'll see why. The Enfj gives us a caring, enthusiastic, idealistic, organized, diplomatic, and responsible individual. Skilled communicators who value connection with people. So this makes us a very interesting combination, the romantic giver. Why a romantic giver? Because he's intuitive and he's feeling at the same time. And he's an extrovert, so he's a people person. Marketing people need to have this, by the way. Marketing people is what? You need to be able to connect with the emotions of people. Not just tell a whole bunch of lies and walk away and your product sucks, okay? This old days are gone now. Now it's very difficult to market anything, especially post-pandemic. Enfj, who is the opposite of Enfj? So Istp is the opposite of Enfj. Yes, follow the purple arrows over there. So introversion, they are introverts, they are not so much extroverts. Their energy direction is internal. They are sensing, they are practical, observant, and want tangible information. They are thinking type people, so they are rationality, left brain people. Perceiving, they are open-minded and flexible. What kind of personal professions do these people make? Design engineers, right? Because they are introverts, they are sensing, they want concrete detail, the spec, the data, the standards. They are thinking, they want logical conclusions all the time. They are as grounded as they come. And yet they are flexible and open-minded to discovering new things. The entire world is built by engineers, right? Istp, action-oriented, logical, analytical, spontaneous, reserved, independent. They enjoy adventure, skilled at understanding how mechanical things work. Engines. So this makes a person the creative craftsman. Another name for engineers could be they are creative craftsmen. They make and rebuild and new things over and over again. This is the fourth pair of opposites. The Enfj will never understand Istp. That's the fourth pair. Let's see the fifth pair. The fifth pair starts with Esfj. Extroverts, they love outgoing, talkative, social interactions. They are sensing people, they look for concrete details. Decisions are based on values and emotions. Now we are going more towards the emotional front, yeah? And at the same time, they prefer fixed structure organization. So the Esfj becomes a person who is friendly, outgoing, reliable, conscientious, organized, and practical. They seek to be helpful, please others, and enjoy being active and productive. Marketing people, again, marketing people have to be extroverts. You can't have an introvert marketing person. So we get an individual who's more of the defending provider. They are defenders of ideas. They are defenders of practicality. And they are providers for people. Right? Who is the opposite of Esfj? Opposite of Esfj is Intp. Who becomes an introvert, who's highly intuitive. Now we are going in a direction. Yes, energy direction is introvert, individual, intuition, in a world of abstract ideas of their own, thinking possibilities and potentials. Yet they are thinking based on logical and objective analysis. Yet they are the people who are flexible as well. So the Intp becomes an individual who is intellectual, logical, precise, reserved, flexible, imaginative, original thinkers who enjoy speculation and creative problem solving. He is the rationalist thinker. This is the fifth pair, right? The Esfj will never understand Intp. Opposites. This is the fifth pair. The sixth pair starts with Estj, the straight line. Estj and Infp, okay, the opposites. This is a straight line, going right across, going straight downwards. Right? Extroverts who are sensing, want concrete details, who use logical thinking, and who have a preference for structure. This is as left-brained as they get. He's got more right-brain stuff going on inside him or her. So the Estj gives us a person who's efficient, outgoing, analytical, systematic, dependable, realistic, likes to run the show, get things done in an orderly fashion. This is the kind of team leader CEOs we need, who are realistic. Can we do this stuff? Yes or no? But they are only thinking on a left brain level. This is how, if we have only ESTJs running companies, we are not going to get very far, because they are missing one whole side, one whole section of the brain. This one becomes a defending supervisor. He's the supervisor material, he's the manager material, he's the CEO material, he's the boss. Okay? He loves doing that. Who's the opposite of this guy? The opposite of Esfj is Infp, because this person and this person work from different sides of the brain altogether, right? That's what we are looking at here. So introverts, intuition, feeling and perceiving. These are the most flexible, most individualistic, most inner world, inner direction oriented people. So the INFP gives a person who's sensitive, who's creative, who's idealistic, who's perceptive, caring, loyal. They value inner harmony and personal growth, focus on dreams and possibilities. These are the ones who can think possibilities. The supervisor cannot think possibilities. They need this romantic healer to find out new stuff. You need to sit quietly, meditate on things, reflect on things, think of possibilities and potentials. The CEO, on the other hand, is busy crunching out how do we get this done. This is like the left and right hand, both are needed. This is why critical thinking workshop becomes really important. This is the fifth pair of opposites. Let's see the sixth pair. Let's look at the seventh pair of opposites. Starts with Estp. Extroverts, sensing, thinking and perceiving. Right? The ones who are extroverts, talking, outgoing, social people. Sensing, want concrete details. Thinking, people who prefer logical and objective analysis. And perceiving, they enjoy open possibilities. So the Estp gives us an individual who is outgoing, realistic, action-oriented, curious, versatile, spontaneous, pragmatic problem solvers with skillful negotiators like the diplomats, the creative doer, thinking on your feet, probably marketing managers, probably going out there and getting new stuff done. You need the creative doers to take an existing problem and think of it in new ways. So who's the opposite of Estp? Infj becomes the opposite of Estp. Yes? Introversion, energy direction, introversion, focus direction, intuitive. Feeling is based on their feelers, so they're based on values and emotions, so they conclude only based on feelings, conclusion, direction. Keep that in mind on the right side, okay? The direction, where are they focusing on? And at the same time, they want structure and organization. So INFJ gives us a person who's idealistic, organized, insightful, dependable, compassionate, and gentle person. Because there is introversion, intuition, and feeling, this makes person really gentle at heart. They seek harmony and cooperation and enjoy intellectual stimulation. These are the thinkers. These are the romantic counselors. We need counselors, especially in the world now with everything going on. The children need counselors. Don't underestimate a counselor. Even organizations require counselors. I don't know what they're doing without any counselors. Roaming around just with the left brain nonsense, right? Never mind. So let's get to the last and the eighth pair of opposites. The last pair of opposites starts with Enfp. Enfp. So first across and straight down. Extroverts who rely on their intuition and imagination, who are also feeling and value emotions above everything else, and who are adaptable and flexible. What kind of a person is this? He is the one who is enthusiastic, creative, spontaneous, optimistic, supportive, and playful. They value inspiration and enjoy starting new projects and potential in others. These are the people person, right? Intuitive, feeling, and perceiving. You have to have feelings, you have to have intuition, you have to be flexible in order to be a good people person. This is the romantic champion. He champions the causes of people above everything else because he has to be an extrovert as well. Intuitive people just are within themselves. They are not going out and seeing what they need, right? So who's the opposite of Enfp? Istj is our last opposite of Enfp. So these are introverts. You've gone inside energy, sensing. The focus is more on the facts and possibilities, facts, concrete data, facts. Thinking based on decisions made based on logical and objective analysis, and judging. They prefer structure and organization, make decisions quickly and strive for closure. This kind of individual becomes responsible, sincere, analytical and reserved, realistic and systematic. They are hardworking, trustworthy with a sound practical judgment. This is the defending inspector. A kind of inspector or kind of engineer generally requires more introversion. They are more internally focused. They reflect a lot in their minds, in the quietness of their minds. They are more internally focused, right? So even the inspection people, wherever they are, the quality inspectors, the engineers, they also make good. There must be Istj kind of personality, right? So let me wrap this up for you. The 8 pairs of opposites. Now you might let me bring you back to the critical thinking workshop model. There are 8 pairs of opposites among the 16 of the MBTI model, the Myers-Briggs indicator. Because there are opposites and one is never able to understand the other fully or where they are coming from, how does the critical thinking workshop dynamic work? This we shall address in the next one. Otherwise, it will become way too long for anybody to process. Think about this. Leave your comments. I'd love to hear from you. Take care. Be safe.